I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. The city is dedicated to recycling right, and this summer officials will be checking carts and teaching residents what to recycle through a tagging program to lower contamination rates and make a more prosperous recycling stream for all.
The city is participating in a program to improve the residential recycling stream, lower contamination, and provide updating recycling information to residents. Postcards of recycling information will be mailed to residents in single-family homes in late June, indicating what to recycle and what not to recycle in your curbside cart. Replace all old recycling information, including old magnets, with the updated postcard. From July 11th to August 5th, cart tagging staff wearing high visibility vests will look at each cart while it is at the curb prior to it being emptied by the recycling truck. They will quickly lift the lid, look inside the cart, and then use their findings to provide individualized feedback as needed. If the cart tagger sees something in the recycling cart that does not belong there, an orange oops tag will be placed on the cart with clear feedback on how to fix it. If the material that is not recyclable in your curbside cart is found in the cart on a future visit, the recycling cart will be tagged with a red tag and will not be serviced until the contamination is removed. After the cart tagging ends, another postcard will be sent to all residents in single-family homes with educational information about the items that were most prevalent and problematic. For more information, visit a2gov.org/recycle or call customer service.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. Some music just sticks with you. It transcends time and creates a new generation of adoring fans. There's one man that will forever have a legion of followers all over the world, and there's even a new film dedicated to his life and legacy.
Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart?
Music lovers took a ride through history to see the many faces of the king.
Today is the 20th anniversary of the Michigan ElvisFest.
A variety of performers, and what's special about it, most of the performers here don't just perform a tribute to Elvis. They perform a tribute to somebody else, like myself. I'm doing Johnny Cash here in just a few minutes. Elvis is tonight.
We've got 9 tribute artists for you.
You're going to see the 50s. You're going to see the movie years. You're also going to do his concert years, which he came with the 68 comeback special. Also, you're going to see him in different jumpsuits.
Elvis bit me with the bug very, very early in life, and just been a huge fan, and I'm just lucky to be able to do what I do, bring back some of those memories, you know. I would say the 1969, 1970 early Vegas era is probably my favorite. I feel like Elvis was happiest at that moment. It was something new and exciting. The music was, he was getting a lot of new material, a lot of changes. Everything got bigger. Just getting into the jumpsuits, he was slim and trim, you know, and looked so good, you know.
I always say that Elvis music is like soulful. It's good for your soul.
Thank you. Thank you very much, John.
The 2022 Michigan ElvisFest is this July 8th and 9th at the Wayne County Fairgrounds. For details, visit milvisfest.com. Composting in Ann Arbor is perpetually evolving. Every year, new guidelines are made to the program. Learn about the benefits of composting in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hi, I'm Jenny Petoskey, the City Solid Waste Outreach and Compliance Specialist, and I'm going to talk about compost. Household trash in Michigan is 30 to 40% organic matter. In landfills, these materials are required to be covered, which reduces the amount of oxygen. If there is no oxygen, the organic matter decomposes very slowly and produces methane, a much more potent greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. There's value in that organic matter. If we compost it and put it back onto the land, it builds soil structure, replaces nutrients, sequesters carbon, and helps the land hold on to water. The City of Ann Arbor offers curbside compost collection for all single-family homes. Multifamily homes and non-commercial entities may also be eligible depending on location and the ability of the trucks to access carts. To opt into the program or see if you are eligible, call customer service at 99 Green. The first compost cart is free if picked up. Did you know that all food scraps can go into your compost cart? This includes things you cannot put in a backyard composter, including meat, dairy, bread, and bones. Composting is a way to participate in the circular economy, and it builds value in materials in your community, including resilience and health. To learn more, visit a2gov.org/compost and a2gov.org/circular economy, all one word.
Art can be transformative. It makes people think, and one nonprofit is spreading the message of equality through visual works and the written word on billboard-sized banners, tackling a variety of issues that people of all kinds cope with on an everyday basis. Joining me is Nancy Margolis, Executive Director, and Lynne Settles, Art Director with Embracing Our Differences. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like you, I mean, you guys can both talk about this, take turns, obviously. What Embracing Our Differences is and how it came to Southeast Michigan.
Well, I'll start with how it came to Southeast Michigan, and then you can help me talk about the wonderful commission that we have. Evie Lichter and I saw this program called Embracing Our Differences in Sarasota. Sarasota has been doing this program for 19 years. They send out a call for art from all over the world, and they get something like 14,000 submissions of art, all on the topic of diversity, all kinds of diversity, race, sex, LGBTQ, mental and physical issues that people have. And then they select 50 and they blow them up to billboard size and put them in their big park. So we asked them if we could do this, and they said, sure. And we had a little contract with them. And we use their logo, although our name, our official name is Embracing Our Differences Michigan. And we did our own call for art. And I'd love for Lynne to talk about how we got local artists.
Yeah, so like Nancy said, we put out a call for art, all age groups, even including youth, the children. And we received about 40 submissions for 26 slots. And so in order to help us decide on what pieces should be in the exhibit, we enlisted a group of local art experts for our judges. And they got together and viewed all the pieces, and we decided what pieces would be a part of the exhibit.
Did you reach out to local schools? How did people know about submitting?
So we did a lot of social media work. We did reach out to the schools. So we have got art teachers in the different school districts shared the contest with their students. And so we had students submit and turn in pieces from elementary all the way up to high school.
I will say when I visited, it's so cool to think about like an elementary school or even a high school student having this huge piece of art just on display for everyone that visits that park. It's amazing. It's got to feel so good.
Oh, the response we got from the artists, it was just, they were so excited. Even though they knew the pieces were going to be blown up billboard size, to go to the park and really see their work was just mind blowing for most of them.
Came down with their families and with their friends, and they were giggling and they were so excited. But adults were just as excited, weren't they, Lynne?
Right.
I can't imagine. I mean, I think even them thinking about it being billboard size, you can't imagine how big it actually is until you're there.
Right. Absolutely.
It really,
absolutely.
Well, your daughter apparently visited, Dana, and it just catches the children's imagination. They see things. We asked them docents from Eastern Michigan University who take the children on tours. We try to divide the classes into maybe 10 per docent. And the docents ask them, what do you see in this picture? And what do you think about this? And how would you draw it? And of course, the whole idea is that we want the children to think about how we have differences in the world and how those differences enhance our lives and make us better people and enrich our lives in a way. So they really get involved in talking about the art.
Yeah, we had a lovely docent, and I think that she really knew how to talk to kids that are like, young 5 kindergarten age. And she was like, there's the one that's like a bunch of different shoes. And she was like talking about how different people have different shoes. And I think the kids really enjoyed that one. And then they started looking at everyone's shoes that were there. It was like a really cool moment, I thought.
Right, yes.
When it's not during the school year, can you get a docent to come walk around with you? Can you get a group together? Does it have to be related to the schools?
Well, the banners are going to be up just through the end of September. So they'll come down. And then we'll have another whole call for art, and we'll have another whole set of banners going up next, hopefully the middle of April. So we had a very short time frame, really, to have these schools because they didn't know about this. It was the first year, so we had a really very short time frame for the schools to sign up for field trips. We really just had about a month, maybe 6 weeks altogether, but we had something like 28 classes that came down with over 1,000 children. So we were really very pleased about that. And we had some children, some of the classes went to Riverside because we have, as you know, there are 4 sites altogether. The largest is Gallup, where we have 39 banners. But then in Ypsilanti, we have Riverside Park that has 9 banners, and Park Ridge Community Center that has 6 banners, and then Leslie Science and Nature Center that has another 6 banners. And we're hoping that by seeing one of these sites, people will be encouraged to go to all of the sites because there's different art at each site.
Yeah, and that was my question. You sort of answered it, that you're going to try to continue to keep this going, because you mentioned in Sarasota, they'd already been doing this for 19 years. So, I mean, I think it really enriches the parks as well. I think it's just like, I think you see people, even yesterday when I went, you'll see people just jogging, and it's like, what a nice thing to see while you're just walking around the park, taking a stroll or jogging. It just makes it, I mean, that area was just grass before.
Yes, exactly. I just happened to go to Gallup Park this morning because I had to check on something. And there was a large group of children from Huron High School that were in part of the Ann Arbor Public Schools summer program for ESL classes, English as a second language. And the teachers were taking small groups to each of the different banners. And the kids would sit down and they were supposed to draw something that they saw and draw about diversity. And it was fabulous to see, and how very, very involved the children were in doing this. They were going to do drawings, or they were going to do little sayings and things like that. So we hope to put some of those on our Facebook page, which Lynn does for us. Lynn is our marvelous social media person. She does Facebook and Instagram. And do we do anything else? I can't remember.
Twitter.
We
have a Twitter page too.
Oh, good. And we have a webpage. The webpage is eodmichigan.org. It was fabulous to see these children from ESL classes. There are probably about 300 of them in 3 weeks. And so they came last week, they're going to come this week, and then next week as well. It was very, very exciting to see them.
Yeah, that's great. You're still have people coming, even though it's summer vacation. You're still getting those students to come in and see this amazing artwork that's out there. And Lynn, you mentioned that, you had so many submissions, but I assume that as years go on, the submission rate is going to just explode. Your judges are going to have a lot of work to do to narrow it down. I expect it to double at least for next year. I think
and it's tricky. It's tricky because it's an international show. The art comes from all over the world that we get from Sarasota. So we want to continue to have it be an international show because that gives a lot of enthusiasm for our local artists as well, to be part of an international show.
Was there certain criteria that you gave the people that were submitting? Obviously it's about embracing our differences and stuff like that. So were there criteria that they had to follow when they were creating these artworks?
Well, it could be any medium that they wanted to work in. So it could be computer generated drawings, paintings. It just had to be presented in a certain format because the banners are done horizontally. So the format had to be there. And as long as it was on the theme of diversity and inclusion, we took a look at it.
Were you surprised by any of the pieces that were submitted that ended up making the billboards and what they were about? And I'd also like you to talk about, you have these quotes that go with them. Sometimes the quote is the artist as well, but a lot of times the quotes are from somebody else, but it goes with the art.
So the quotes really came with some of the banners from Sarasota. They were not our local artist quotes. They just were matched up perfectly so that it seems like they came together and they're connected.
Yeah, it definitely feels like there's this connection between what
Sarasota also does a call. Yeah. Sarasota does a call for slogans. They ask for slogans on diversity, and then they get, I guess, thousands and thousands of slogans as well. And somehow they match them. It's just amazing that they do that, but they find just the right thought. There's one banner shows it's actually the photographer is from Turkey. It shows, you may remember it, it shows a little boy in a wheelchair playing basketball. And the photographer talked about the fact that he wanted to show that a child in a wheelchair who will be there for life can just live a normal life. And the quote that they found to use with it is, I'm not going to do this right, but it said, "Don't think of me as an inanimate object. Look at me and not my wheelchair." And now when I see someone in a wheelchair, that's exactly what I think about. And I look at the person and not the wheelchair. So that shows you how art can have such an amazing impact on people.
Well, and I will say, I actually have a sister that's in a wheelchair more recently. And I think that's like one of the things that she thinks about a lot now, that when she goes somewhere that people are only looking at her, the fact that she's in a chair and she like feels uncomfortable because of it. And I think that that's something that we all need to look past, because these are just people and they want to just feel like normal people.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
It's one of the powerful things about this exhibit. It forces you to take a look at things a little bit deeper than you might have looked at it before. And art has such ability and power to be able to communicate these ideas, no matter what language you speak.
I was going to have Lynn talk about one of the artists who apparently has autism, and she said that she has this gorgeous picture. I think it's probably a self-portrait. I'm not sure. It's a beautiful, beautiful picture. And she said that it was only through her autism, only through her art, that she became a superpower. And she thinks of herself as a superpower now because she can draw, and she has talked about her challenges through art.
Yeah. This gave her a recognition, just gave her recognition. It's like, my work is equal to the people other people that are here. So this is my superpower.
There's another piece by, again, a local artist who said, I think it's called "Don't Panic." And the artist's statement says that it was only when she received a diagnosis of dyslexia that she suddenly became so relieved and so happy and felt so empowered, because she now realized that there's a reason why she didn't see words like everybody else was seeing words. And the art shows words just flowing off of the page, coming off the page. It kind of illustrates what dyslexia must feel like for people who have it. So it's all we illustrate all types of diversity. It's not just race, it's not just sex, it's all kinds of emotional and physical challenges that people have that we don't even think about as diversified, but they are part of our society and people that we want to connect with and appreciate.
Is there anything, Lynn, any piece that really stood out to you? Because when you do walk around these parks, I mean, a lot of it, even just visually, if you're not even just like looking at the messages of diversity, everything is so different. And from a perspective of a viewer, I think there's art for everybody just by the visuals of it as well.
Oh, yeah. Each one of the artists took a different angle a different perspective on the topic. And it's just kind of amazing to see how people think differently, but it's still okay. You know, it's still the diversity in the way they think about the topic. A lot of the artists show historical pieces, pieces that were related to different issues. So just an amazing group of pieces.
One of the best comments that I love hearing the children talk about, we have one very large picture of the Lady Liberty, who is Black. They have her, it was painted black, and the idea was that Lady Liberty was leading all the slaves to freedom. So we asked the children, what do you see? And every single child has said, she's supposed to be green. They remember the Statue of Liberty as being green. Mm-hmm. And they saw that difference. It's adorable. It is just adorable.
Well, and I think you get a lot of those different perspectives too, because it's open to all these age ranges. Because I think that, you know, I think when you ask like a 5-year-old about diversity, they're going to think about it different than we even thought about it when we were 5, because the world is different now too.
Yes, that's true. That is very true. Yes.
Some of the best ones were done by the children. There's I think 4th grader. He said, these are just my friends. We're just all different colors. And but these are just my friends. And why shouldn't they be my friends? It's like, yeah, you're right.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We have had wonderful, wonderful support from Washtenaw County and from the University of Michigan and Michigan Medicine, and lots and lots, Old National Bank. Lots of banks have helped us as well. So we have wonderful community support, and I think that the community was very excited to have something like this talk about diversity and equity and inclusion. Is something we're all thinking about, maybe don't know what to do about, how to implement it in our jobs and in our work. And the hope is that these will encourage different organizations to do more in the whole area of diversity.
Yeah, you really hope that even anyone that walking by might think differently. Like you said, it's about so many different things. It's about things that you wouldn't even expect, like dyslexia and things like that. I mean, because when you think about diversity, you think about race a lot, you think about LGBTQ, but these people are opening it up to even more.
Right. That's right. Exactly. It's true.
Absolutely.
So do you need volunteers or donations from anyone, and how do people do that?
Well, we love donations, of course.
You are a nonprofit, so yeah.
We are a nonprofit 501c3. We have a website, which is eodmichigan.org. People can go on the website and learn more about us. They can go on our Facebook page and see everything that Lynn has put there, which talks about it. We are always looking for people who would like to think about being docents. We're going to have a challenge in September. If we have a lot of schools sign up for field trips, we're going to have a little trouble because our EMU students will not be available during the day to be docents. So we will be using volunteer docents, and we will be encouraging people to become docents with us.
Well, and I think it would be fun to be a docent. Like I said, you get so many different people. You get to talk about it in different ways. You get to talk about it at people that are a lower age or a higher age, and you can talk about it more in depth with them. It just depends. Exactly. And if you're not doing something during the day, if you have time, I think it would be a great time.
And we welcome everybody. It would be wonderful. It would just be wonderful. Yes.
Well, before we go, I'd like you both to tell us why people should take the time while it's still up to go visit these different parks throughout Southeast Michigan. And like you said, don't just go to one, you can go to, because there's different art at different parks, and why they should embrace our differences.
Wow. Yeah, I think that you should go out and see each one of the exhibits at each park. Start that dialogue and that conversation about embracing our differences, and it's going to open your eyes to some things that you may not have even considered seriously.
If you visit the parks, it will be a real gift to yourself because you will learn so much. And be sort of open to different ideas that you hadn't even thought about before, such as a wheelchair idea. You need to look at the person. And we hope that people would do that. We're also open to giving tours. So if anyone would like a tour, just email us at, again, eod.org, and we can arrange a tour for you. We had the faculty women's group come down just yesterday, I think, and they're going to do another tour. So we welcome anyone who would like to have a special tour. It's fun. The special part of the tour is that we can tell you the background the artist was thinking about when he or she did the work. And so that's very good too. It's fun. But thank you.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show, and I want to thank you for sharing this beautiful art with our area. It really brightens it up, and I look forward to visiting year after year.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
having us.
Thanks a lot.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.